Hello, everybody. Mr. Jantix here, coming at you with a solo episode of the Standout Media podcast. Due to all the craziness going on right now in Florida with the hurricanes back to back that hit us, we couldn't do it last week. Obviously, the internet and power was out for my internet was out. I believe Rozoku's power was out. And now he's stuck doing some stuff for work, trying to catch up for the week that we all missed with everything going crazy down here. But I don't want to dwell on the past, because we are here now doing an episode. And, I figured why not start the solo stream with my face being on it, because, just wanted to test it out and see how that all worked out. So, hi everybody. This is what I look like if you don't know. Let's jump right into the news. So, let's jump right off with the headline that I have, which is the Xbox Cloud Gaming. The big news, the big change is starting in November, they're going to allow users to start rolling their own videos. Not rolling. What am I trying to say here? Give me one sec. Moving some stuff around. It's a little bit different. But essentially, the cloud gaming that is currently on Game Pass, the Ultimate tier, and that you can only do some games for, they are expanding it to games that you own, which is very interesting. It's not going to be all games at first. They are essentially going to be doing a rollout of sorts so that games that... I feel like I'm butchering this, and I don't know why. Like, something's off right now. Let me just restart. Xbox is bringing cloud gaming to games that you own and not just games that are in Game Pass. Now, this is going to be a slow rollout. Not every publisher and game and all that is going to be brought into the service. It is an opt-in from the developers, essentially. So if they don't want to do it, like say if EA was like, we don't want our games on there, their games aren't going to be on there. But if Ubisoft said, yeah, we'll put our games on there, their games will be eligible for this option. Details aren't ironed out. It looks like you are still going to be required to have Game Pass Ultimate to be able to access these cloud servers for the games that you purchase outside of Game Pass. It is a slow rollout, and it looks like... let me read through this article real quick. I read through it earlier. Looks like it's gonna be Call of Duty, obviously, at first. So if you buy Call of Duty, you can play it through cloud gaming. Same with Warzone and Modern Warfare 3, last year's Call of Duty. But more games are going to be coming to this. This has been teased for years. They originally announced that this feature would be coming in 2022. So it's nice to see it coming to fruition now. There are some rumors that they are working on a cloud-only tier, so that way it's a cheaper entry point than the $20 a month that the Ultimate is, if you want this feature, but you don't want to get into the Game Pass. Big changes that is coming next month in November, so a month away. And again, it's not going to instantly give you access to your entire digital library, but it is going to be a gradual rollout that could take weeks or months or possibly even years. They don't have an exact timeline on that, but it is something that is coming out. That's pretty major news. That's going to help them more directly compete with GeForce Now and other things of that sort. I know there's other ones I'm just completely blanking. I think Amazon Luna is very similar. But yeah, so that's a welcome change and more things added for no extra cost if you have Ultimate already. If you don't, then you do have to get Ultimate to do this. So a little bit of a downside that's not just coming to everybody for free. Obviously, they're not going to do that, but I mean, one can hope that, they can be as pro-consumer as possible. And this comes on the back of them pretty much combining the apps, the Game Pass and the Xbox app. So those are now combined. Not fully yet. They're still working on the full integration, but you can now see Game Pass stuff on the original Xbox app, and it's going to begin rolling out more and more in that. So good stuff overall there. They're definitely making some big moves on the mobile front and the cloud streaming front. So we'll see how that all ends up next month when it does finally release. And yeah, that'll be interesting. Let's see. I got a couple stories today, so I'm just gonna go through a couple different things. One that I think we missed a couple weeks ago because I don't remember if we talked about this. I think it was the day after our last episode, but Halo, the company that makes it, 343 Studios, 343 Industries, got rebranded to Halo Studios. And this was during the finals of the Xbox the Halo World Championship. But they, in the middle of the World Championship, in the middle of the games, they're like, "Hey, everybody, we got a video to watch," and they rolled like a 7 or 9 minute clip where they showed off that Halo moving to Unreal Engine 5. The game's gonna look much better. They showed off 3 different levels. Unreal Engine 5 is a absolutely beautiful looking engine. There are some worries because a lot of Unreal Engine games have this weird stutter to them, like the new Silent Hill that just came out, and there's a couple other ones that I can't think of right now. But I think with Microsoft owning Coalition, who is the people behind Gears of War, they are a huge developer. Huge Unreal developer. Like, they are second to probably only Epic Games themselves when it comes to working with that engine. And, Microsoft owns them, so they'll be able to have Halo Studios collaborate with Coalition, work out the kinks in the Unreal Engine. And also, with everybody, like, Unreal is kind of the default engine that a lot of people use. And Microsoft hires a lot of talent on a contract basis. Before, when they had the Slip Space engine, they would have this weird training period where they'd have to train these developers on how to use Slip Space because they had different tools, different languages, different programs. Like, it's all a whole different engine that they're working with. So they would spend weeks or months training these people, and when they're only on a 6-month contract, you're possibly spending half that time training somebody on how to use the engine, and then they're only working really for a couple months on it, and they're not an expert in that, so they're not going to be developing as quickly as they could if they were an expert on that engine. With Unreal, there's a lot of people out there, a lot of contractors who know the engine, so you're not going to have to teach them how the engine works. You're just going to teach them your specific tools for it and how you want those to work with the engine. So it's going to drastically cut down on that, and it's going to hopefully drastically cut down on the timeline between content drops in the game, which could mean, more multiplayer maps, more multiplayer modes, possibly more single player stuff, possibly even shorter time frames between game releases. It also could mean bigger scope for the games. Infinite had a big scope, and it kind of didn't quite live up to it. I feel like I'm in the smaller pool of people, but I personally enjoyed Halo Infinite's campaign. But I do think there was some lack of stuff in the campaign. it was pretty short for it being a open world, quote unquote. I feel like it was more of a zoned open world because it was pretty small for what it was, and there wasn't much life outside of the key points, if if you want to call it that. Like there was some wandering people, but I feel like there's no world events like Destiny has, or I guess I'm thinking more of live service games, which Halo was kind of infinite. They kind of touted it as being a live service game, and then they didn't deliver on that promise. So, all in all, I think them moving to Unreal Engine 5 could be a good thing in the future. The rebrand is just them showing that they're committed to Halo as a game. And yeah, I'm excited. Halo is probably one of my most beloved franchises. I don't know if I'd say number one, but it's definitely top three of my most beloved franchises. So definitely excited for that. Yeah, let's see what else. Keeping with game updates. This one's kind of a smaller game, kind of a funny story. I mean, it's a little bit sad, but Square Enix has a game called Foam Stars, which released a year ago. It's I'm trying to think of a nice way to put this, but it was not very well received. It was supposed to be a Splatoon competitor, and they released it only on PlayStation, and it just didn't do too well. It went on PS Plus for a while, so people didn't have to pay. It was a $30 game. But I think just like last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, it went free to play. So yeah, it's not free to play on PlayStation, and it is down 95% player base from its peak. So and that's after it went free to play. Not the best news. People are saying that it's going to get the Concord treatment, which seems a little odd because it came out last year, so it's already been out for a year. So, you know, but it probably maybe might be shut down soon because yeah, free to play, and it still has almost no players. So that would be interesting to see. If they just go that route and just say we're done with it, or if they're going to be like, we've already sunk so much money into this game, we're just going to put a bit more, port it to maybe PC, maybe Xbox, maybe Switch, if Switch allows it on there, seeing that it is a Splatoon competitor. Although Splatoon, I think they just announced they're ending support for that, so we'll see how that all works out. But yeah, not Splatoon, Foam Stars, another game with some interesting stuff. I got some viewers coming in. I think there's a slight delay. I think I forgot to turn that off. So sorry for the viewers. I'll be keeping an eye on chat, but I may or may not be responding to stuff. We will see. But yeah, I see people talking about the Halo stuff, and yeah, definitely open-minded. Very excited for what could be there. But let's move on to somewhat Halo news. There was a Call of Duty leak about a Halo crossover. Hold on, let's see. I'm just reading through this little article. Okay, so essentially it was a Call of Duty leaker, The Ghost of Hope, posted on social media that a Halo crossover for the 2023 Modern Warfare 3 was canceled, but it was for completely unknown reasons as to why it was canceled. The report was also corroborated by Call of Duty news site Charlie Intel, which they have a website. I also follow them on Twitter, so they have some pretty good stuff, and I like them for Call of Duty information. It was this collaboration was supposed to come out earlier this year, but again canceled for unknown reasons. The extent as to like how much wasn't known, but what was known is that it was a operator skin of Master Chief coming to Call of Duty. So you could, buy the skin, play as Master Chief in the Halo or in the Call of Duty game, which honestly, I would be down for that. I probably would buy that skin. Like, I mean, why not run around as Master Chief in, Warzone or Call of Duty? That would be pretty sick. And Microsoft owns both those games now, so we'll see if this wasn't just canceled, but maybe pushed off for Black Ops 6. Maybe it'll come in the new game. Maybe that was the thing. I don't know. It's very interesting why they wouldn't release a skin at the very minimum. I'm trying to read if there's anything else that they are leaking that was coming out, but it doesn't seem like there's anything else. Just a skin. And yeah, I'm hopeful that maybe that comes to Black Ops 6. They do have some pretty crazy skins in there. They've been going pretty crazy. The Halloween stuff going on right now. There's some pretty interesting stuff in there. Definitely trying to get that, Fortnite bag where they're just collecting money like crazy off of all the collabs. So we'll see if that actually comes to fruition and, is a thing in the future. Moving on to next story. Let's see. This one's a small one. Sea of Thieves studio boss Craig Duncan, who has been in charge of the Sea of Thieves studio, is now in charge of Xbox Game Studios now that Alan Hartman is retiring. Not much to go on there. Alan Hartman had been head of Xbox Game Studios for a year, and now the Rare Studio head is taking over. So that encompasses all the Game Studio games, and his role as the Rare Studio head is being replaced by two people. So Joe Neat and Jim Horth, and they are going to co-manage the studio. Not really much going on there, but just a little bit of changes. I mean, there's always changes going on, at the corporate climate there at Microsoft. So we'll be keeping an eye on that, seeing how that goes. I don't see there being, any big changes that come from this, but it's always interesting to see who's getting moved around where inside these big corporations. And yeah, moving on. More Call of Duty news. The Call of Duty preload that's coming out. Maybe that should have been the headline, because it's actually kind of big news that I'm reading through it. Like, I only glanced at the headline earlier, but the Call of Duty shared launcher, which is called Call of Duty HQ. For those who don't know, it's a convoluted mess of just menus after menus that are just horrible to read. And then you have to click 3 different things, and then you click into a thing, and then it brings you to another game, and then it relaunches the thing in that new game, and then it has to close, and it's terrible, and it's a mess. But on October 21st, all that's changing. They're going to get a update, and this update will also have the preload for Call of Duty Black Ops 6, which is releasing next week on Friday on the 25th. But the big news with the HQ overhaul is that it's going to be a lot more streamlined, and I mean, there are a couple images out that you can see now for it. And I mean, overall, I'm looking, it's, let's try to explain this as best I can. So it's Call of Duty at the top. There's, tabs they can tab between with like the bumpers or R101, I'm assuming. And it's home, all games, and store. Those are the 3 tabs. And the picture I'm seeing right now is the home. Big square, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 multiplayer, right? That's on the featured, to the right of it. Smaller vertical rectangle, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, hit play. Next to that, Warzone. Looks like you can keep scrolling on there. And then underneath that, they have the last played, so your last playlist, which for this screenshot was Black Ops 6 multiplayer. Looks like a mosh pit. And then next to it, it's a what's hot. So it has some of the game modes like Face Off Mosh Pit, Gunfight, and Liberty Falls. So interesting there. Let's go and see if there's the next one. Yeah, okay, so all games. It has Black Ops 6, Warzone, Modern Warfare 3, Modern Warfare 2, Vanguard, Black Ops Cold War, and Modern Warfare. So it looks like it has the last 6 games. Was it 2018, 2019 maybe? And then Warzone in there. And then preload is for all platforms starting October 21st at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And then the launch for Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is Xbox and PC Microsoft Store, October 24th. What the heck? There's okay, that's super weird. It says 4 a.m. through 11 p.m. Pacific time. So I'm assuming it's a simultaneous launch across the globe, which means that it's going to be 11 p.m. Pacific, October 24th. But that wouldn't make sense. I don't know. That's very interesting. I'm sure they're going to clear that up next week because that doesn't really make any sense. It looks like they have Xbox and PC Microsoft Store as one bracket, PlayStation as another bracket, and then Battle.net and Steam as another bracket for release windows. Xbox, PC, Microsoft Store, and PlayStation currently have the same times, whereas Battle.net and Steam have a different time. That's super interesting. Okay, I'm just reading through because also Call of Duty always has large storage sizes, and if you download the entire Black Ops 6 pack, it's going to be a lot, especially if you have Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone and all the other games on there downloaded. It's going to be a lot, but you can go into the game file on any system that you're on and modify what you want to install. So you can install, maybe you want Warzone and just Black Ops 6 campaign. You can just have those two installed, and that will drastically reduce the size of the file. It's a little bit of work, but definitely helps with storage management because it's hundreds of gigabytes if you download just everything. I think I covered everything there. So Call of Duty comes out next week, and it's going to be a big deal. Of course, it's Call of Duty. It's like the best-selling game every year. And it's on Game Pass as well. So it's also crazy because it's on Game Pass Cloud. So going to be a big launch for sure. This one, they spent 4 years making it instead of the typical 3 years for Call of Duty, or last year's 18 months that they took to make the entire Modern Warfare 3. So high hopes. It's still Call of Duty, so I played the beta. Beta was fun. It's still Call of Duty. If you're going and expecting it to be Battlefield or, Overwatch or something else, it's not. So keep your expectations tempered, but I think it's going to be pretty good. Moving on. I'm keeping some stuff towards the end to kind of keep people interested, Like I talked about the Xbox Partner Preview in the title. That's going to be towards the end, so keep watching if you're interested in that, or just skip ahead if you are not interested and you just want to figure it out, But Diablo 4 had some big news last week. The big expansion dropped on the 8th, which I guess was 2 weeks ago. No, that was last week. That was last Monday. I've been playing a ton of it. It's pretty fun. There's a lot of changes to it. And they dropped a pretty... I don't even know if it was a big patch, but they did drop a patch today on the 17th. So that was on all platforms. And there was a build in the game which was, to put it lightly, extremely broken. You could literally just, I don't know how to describe it because it was so crazy watching people who built it. You could teleport with no cooldown and with no essentially mana cost. You could just teleport around, and when you did that, it would shoot essentially a giant, almost 180-degree spray of feathers that were essentially a one-hit kill for most things. And it would just teleport you across the map, and it would just shoot those out. And yeah, needless to say, that was completely busted. And when people would jump into my game and just solo clear stuff doing that, it was pretty fun to just sit back and just not have to do anything. Also, it literally only required one button press if you played on controller. So, super broken. It was insanely broken. And that was, for people who know, it was the Eagle Evade Spiritborn build. And yeah, the Eagle, I forget the name of it, but the build that I use wasn't really affected, which is the Eagle build. So it's Spiritborn classes are still a little broken, but they're not overly broken. Of course, it's a new class. They want you to play it, so they're going to make that one a little bit stronger than everybody else. So people are like, well, I want to play the OP class right now. It makes sense. But yeah, they fixed that. It even caused crashes to games, which I didn't know because there wasn't that many people in my games. But I guess if multiple people running this got into the same instance, it would just crash everybody's game. So I mean, it kind of makes sense why they're nerfing it so quickly after the game came out, or the DLC. But you know, there's also some good updates. Like they updated the Realm Walker stuff and made that way more friendly for the players. They made it so he's not just walking at a little snail's pace around the map before he can even do anything. And they did some other improvements. So lots of bug fixes and some quality of life stuff. Go check out the patch notes if you are playing Vessel of Hatred on Diablo 4. I enjoyed it. I felt like the expansion was the story part of it too short. The pacing was not that great, and then it kind of just ends, which was, in my opinion, I didn't like it that much. Like the story itself was really good, and I wanted to keep playing it, but they're like, just ended it, and then they're like, oh, this is very important. You need to go do, and then they had you redo stuff from the base game, which was, I personally didn't care because they only had you do it once, so it wasn't like you had to go grind stuff, but it still was a little bit weird. And then one of the new characters they brought in, I didn't really like his story arc through it, and then also they left it on another kind of cliffhanger. I don't know, story, but the new area is super fun. It's super dense with enemies, which honestly I think there's too many enemies because you can't stop anywhere. And I get knocked off my horse quite a bit for no reason. Like I'm just running through stuff and I've, all of a sudden off the horse. Sorry, I need to take a quick drink there. But yeah, overall, I would say the Vessel of Hatred is a pretty good expansion, but I don't quite think it's worth $40. I think $20 would be a good price point for it. So if you're not a diehard Diablo fan, maybe wait for a sale. They might have one next month for Black Friday. It is a discounted price. I think it's 10% off if you have Game Pass, so it's only $36. It is fun, and the new class is really fun. So it's hit or miss. But yeah, that's Diablo. Let's see. You know what? Now let's get into the Xbox partner preview. I'm gonna run through. They had 15 game announcements, so we're gonna just run through a bunch of stuff here. Try to keep it quick. So this was just a showcase for partner games, no first party games, all, games from other studios that aren't within Microsoft itself. And they start off the show with the Alan Wake 2 DLC called The Lake House. That game, a little creepy, kind of gruesome. It's supposed to be the darkest and scariest setting yet for the Alan Wake franchise. So if you're a horror fan and you like Alan Wake, this could be for you. It definitely looks very good. The game looks very pretty. And one weird thing about the expansion that they didn't say during the show is that it releases exclusively to Alan Wake 2 Deluxe Edition owners on October 22nd, 2024. Very interesting choice there. I'm sure you're going to be able to buy it separately at some point in the future, but yeah, having to buy the deluxe edition of a game to be able to play the DLC, very weird choice. The expansion takes place alongside the main Alan Wake 2 campaign and directly connects to it, but it also offers yet another connection to the Remedy Entertainment Controls universe, which is their own, like the Marvel universe. They have their own universe for Remedy games. Moving on, Chronos: The New Dawn. Really weird horror looking game. Kinda gave me some Dead Space vibes. Created by Bluebird Team. Let's see. It is a futuristic 1980s Poland survival horror game. Set to release sometime in 2025. Trailer for that was really creepy. Looked really good for fans of survival horror games. Bluebird Team does pretty good. They just made the Silent Hill 2 remake. So the team knows what they're doing a little bit. They have been keeping active. And yeah, looks pretty good. Next up was Blindfire. I'm just going to be honest. This game looked mediocre at best. It looked almost like the finals. Something along those lines, where it's kind of trying to be AAA, but it's a AA game. It's really interesting. It was shadow dropped today into Xbox Game Preview program, so you can go and, I believe, pre-order it. It doesn't say if it's on Game Pass. I don't think it's on Game Pass because I didn't see it on the Game Pass tweet that they tweeted out. But it is on Game Preview now for Xbox Series X and S and Windows PC. So yeah, if you want to go try it out, feel free to go try it out. Essentially, it's a first-person shooter game where the lights are turned out. Interesting concept. There are like abilities that you can use that play with lights. There are like little neon lights that are around that give little glimpses, but most of the game is pitch black, and it's like a arena shooter type thing. Gonna be interesting to see how that one plays out. Next up was the Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii trailer. Yakuza games are out there, and I love that for them. I've never played them, but I do enjoy watching other people play them. They are just crazy games. This is kind of a spin-off of Infinite Wealth from what I understand. So not based on that game, but I mean, like, a lot of the assets and stuff are going to be used from that game, so it's going to look kind of similar to that. But yeah, essentially you're the main character, the main character that you play wakes up with amnesia, but he's got an eye patch on, and he sees pirates, and he's like, I don't remember anything, and those are pirates, and I have an eye patch, so therefore I'm a pirate. And that's essentially what the game is you are cosplaying as a pirate, and throughout the trailer they're like showing off that he kind of is self-conscious that he knows he's not a pirate, but he's having so much fun being a pirate and he doesn't remember what he is, so he kind of doesn't want to remember and wants to just keep living the pirate life. And it's coming out February 21st for Xbox, PC, and PlayStation. So yeah, that was an interesting announcement because up until now, release date was October 28th, so they moved it up a week. Good news if you're a Yakuza fan, like a Dragon fan, whatever. And yeah, it'd be interesting to see that game next year. Next up, Mouse, PI for Hire. Now, this looked, how do I want to put it? Like a mix between classic Mickey Mouse cartoons and Cuphead. So like think of those two art styles kind of mashed together. And then it's a first person shooter that has detective style stuff. Very interesting. It is a grayscale world. They didn't really show too much off in the trailer. They showed, like you saw, in a couple mysteries in first person. They showed you shooting some people. It was a very unique take that I don't think I've ever really seen before for a first person shooter. So definitely one to keep an eye out. No release date, just a 2025 date. And next up, Subnautica 2 teaser trailer. Very short teaser for Subnautica 2, which is the third game in the franchise, I believe. And but it's a full game. I say that. I think it's actually coming to early access. Yeah, game preview. Coming to Xbox Game Pass. And it's also gonna have co-op for the first time. So gonna be super interesting. It is early access for Xbox Series and Windows PC sometime in 2025. It's gonna be more Subnautica. So if you're a fan of the other two, give this one a shot. Also co-op and Game Pass. I mean, definitely a lot of reasons to jump in and not a lot to not jump in, Unless you're afraid of the ocean, then don't jump in because it's scary out there. And from the trailer, it looks like they added a little bit more horror stuff to it. Next up, Animal Well. This one was a weird little Metrovania 2D mystery platformer. Plays around with lights and shadows on a 2D basis. And yeah, looks pretty interesting if you're into the 2D style stuff. It shadow dropped today on Xbox and Windows PC. So could be something that if you want to go check out, you can go check out because it is now available. Next up, Eden Zero anime game. I could have sworn this was like Fairy Tail or set in the universe of Fairy Tail because that main character if you just look it up and it looks like that style of anime. And the main character and a lot of the other characters do look very similar. Eden Zero is apparently, because I've actually never heard of it, it's a manga and anime universe created by Hiro Mishima. So apparently it's something that has a universe, but again, I've never heard of this. I am an anime fan, but I'm not like super into anime. So, I mean, it could be something worth checking out. The universe itself looks very interesting. It looks like it could be very good. So yeah, definitely go check that out. Coming to Xbox Series and Windows PC in 2025. Again, no actual release date, just a vague 2025. Next up, Eternal Strands. This is a fire-filled third-person action-adventure game. It's received a lot of attention because developers worked on Dragon Age, Assassin's Creed, and more. Not saying that those developers are working on it, but ex-developers from those studios are now working on it. It looks very interesting. It looks almost like a Shadow of the Colossus, I believe. No, that's not the game I'm thinking of. But it looks like a almost like a Souls-like, but not quite. It looks like just a third-person action game. Very interesting. I believe actually going to play this trailer real quick because I think, yeah. So you have like special abilities, fire, ice, and like the ability to manipulate objects, and you can combine those two or use it's. It looks really interesting. So if you're a fan of third-person action adventure games, which a lot of people are apparently because they're selling really well. Look at Wukong. This could be right up your alley. Keep an eye on that one. Coming to Xbox, PC, and Game Pass in 2025. Next up, Mistfall Hunter. This is a Souls-like game with extraction mechanics. So, dark fantasy world, magic technology, no release date or even a window, so it didn't even have like a 2025. Just a announcement, first look. They did say there's a closed beta coming sometime in the near future that you can sign up for now, but no word on a lot of other things. Looks super interesting. I probably won't touch this. I am not the Souls-like guy. I just don't care for them. I'm don't have the patience for games where you have to die to learn stuff. But having extraction mechanics in a Souls-like game could be very interesting. Next up, Wheel World, which I remember seeing this somewhere before previously. I believe it was a different Xbox showcase earlier in the year. But indie game by Annapurna Interactive, where you pretty much are just riding a bicycle. Caveat, bicycle has a floating skull on the front of it. Why? Who knows? Gonna have to play the game and find out. Very colorful, open world. Apparently your goal is to collect and repair all of the missing ghost bikes, which possess the ability to travel between the living and dead worlds. There's exploration, crafting, secret hunting, and also the ability to participate in bike races. This is coming to Xbox Series, Windows PC, and Game Pass in 2025. So another Game Pass game coming next year. With it coming to Game Pass, I probably will check this out. It looks very interesting. Even if I, don't like it, I can jump in, ride a bike for a little bit. They have a hot dog bike and also a person-shaped bike. I'll leave it at that and move on to Phasmophobia. This is getting an official Xbox release date. Obviously, if you've been on the internet, you probably know what Phasmophobia is. It blew up on Twitch earlier this year. Actually, that might have been last year. Regardless, it's blown up on Twitch. It's blown up on the internet. It is very popular. If you don't know what it is a supernatural game where you and a group of up to 3 of your friends go into haunted locations with various tools looking for ghosts and trying to be ghost hunters, but the ghost can't kill you. It's an AI ghost. It's not controlled by somebody like not like Dead by Daylight where there's 1 versus 4. This is you and up to 3 player in a co-op experience going against AI. That is coming to Xbox Series players October 29th. So just a short 2 weeks away. And yeah, if you're into that, you can play it on Xbox. Next up, Legend of Babu. I actually don't remember this game. I'm trying to think. I'm going to replay this video real quick because I'm watching this and I really don't remember seeing this during the showcase. Wow, that's pretty bad. I just skimmed through the 1 minute little teaser official announcement trailer. Looks kind of cute. You look like a kid, like a child hero, and you have a fluffy dog, which is always so super cute. I'm trying to figure out what kind of dog he is. I can't think of the name. He almost looks like a giant Pomeranian, but you can like ride the dog, and action adventure game. And yeah, coming to Xbox Series and Windows PC next year. Looks kind of cute. So if you're into dogs and action adventure games, check that one out. Next up, Wu-Chang Fallen Feathers. This game looks super interesting. It is Souls-like gameplay. Looks almost similar to Ghost of Tsushima. It is dark, stylistic, Japanese type. You're a female samurai who's going against all these other people, and yeah, looks very interesting. Coming to Xbox Series, Windows PC, and Xbox Game Pass some point 2025. So, more Souls-like games coming next year. They're gonna keep coming out. It's a super popular thing right now. But moving on, this was a surprise announcement. FBC Firebreak. So this was a surprise for multiple reasons. One, Remedy making another game after they're still working on a bunch of other stuff. Two, it's their first multiplayer game. And by multiplayer, I mean co-op. It's a 3-player co-op game, and it looks very interesting. It looks like it needs a little bit of polish from the trailer. Maybe I'm being a little bit critical, but honestly, it looks pretty fun. I am actually really looking forward to this one. It is coming to Game Pass day one, so I mean that's part of the reason why I'm looking forward to it. But also 3-player co-op. Remedy Entertainment, they make interesting but really good games. My favorite was Quantum Break back in the day, and I know like people love Control. People were really a big fan of, and I feel like I'm forgetting one. But they make they really put good stuff, and they have good stories in their games. So it's going to be interesting to see this 3-player co-op multiplayer game from people who normally don't make co-op games. And yeah, that was actually how they ended the show. So they started off with Remedy and they ended it with Remedy. It was under 30 minutes for the entire show, so not too long. There was pretty much no talking. They announced a couple things coming to Game Pass, which I am actually going to reiterate. So coming to Game Pass day one is Subnautica 2, Eternal Strands, Wheel World, Wu-Chang Fallen Feathers, and FBC Firebreak. All those have been confirmed to be coming day one to Game Pass. So all the other games just coming to Xbox and PC, and some of them are coming to PlayStation as well. So keep your eye out on all these games. Some of them look really good. The Like a Dragon game looks like it could be a lot of fun. And yeah, super fun. And then I had a depressing. You know what? Not even gonna talk about it. There's more layoffs. There's always more layoffs. This one with Riot Games, League of Legends team. Why are there more layoffs after they just did layoffs like a couple weeks ago? Weird. I don't know why they're doing it. It sucks. I did want to bring it up. I was gonna skip it. Wasn't gonna skip it, but I do want to bring it up. Just layoffs suck, man. Like, they suck. But to end it on a high note, I actually have 2 tabs open for this, and I don't know why, so I'm just going to go through. But I'll just go over the games coming soon to Xbox Game Pass. I think this was last month's. I think that's why. Hold on, let's see. Updated 2 days ago. Okay, let's see. I'm just going to scroll down this list and see what's coming to Game Pass, what's leaving Game Pass. Reading through. So, oh yeah. Yesterday, South Park: The Fractured But Whole came to Xbox Series, Xbox One, Windows PC, and Xbox Cloud Gaming for standard, ultimate, and PC Game Pass. Today, the 17th. Oh, what? Hold up. It says Core Keeper. Okay. They updated it. Core Keeper is coming to Xbox One, standard, and ultimate. But it was already on Xbox Series, PC, and cloud gaming for... That's weird. So apparently Core Keeper is just getting released from more groups today. But it was already out for PC, cloud gaming, series, and stuff like that. But now I guess it's going to get another version. I don't know. But also today, Donut County came back, and MechWarrior 5 Clans is now out for Game Pass. Donut County is coming to Xbox Series, Xbox One, Windows PC, and cloud gaming for standard, ultimate, and PC, whereas MechWarrior 5 Clans, Xbox Series optimized, Windows PC, and Xbox Cloud Gaming for ultimate and PC, not on standard. Then, of course, next week, big dog, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, coming to Xbox Series, Xbox One, Windows PC, and cloud gaming for ultimate and PC members. And then Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone are both getting added to the Xbox Cloud Gaming tier for ultimate members only. After that, Ashen comes to Xbox Series, Xbox One, Windows PC, and cloud gaming for the standard, ultimate, and PC. 31st, Dead Island 2 comes for Windows PC on the ultimate and PC tier. November 5th, StarCraft Remastered and StarCraft 2 Campaign Collection. If you didn't know, StarCraft 2 multiplayer is free to play. So this is the campaign collection between the expansions, so base and expansions, coming to Windows PC for ultimate and PC tier. Obviously, it's only on PC, so it's not coming to console. November 19th is Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Now, this game, I'm kind of hyped for it, but I'm also a little bit nervous because the file size is really small, but it takes a lot of internet bandwidth to play properly. And I'm curious to see how it works on like the average person's internet. Also, that's coming to Xbox Series and Windows PC. It's weird that they don't name what tiers on here, probably because that's a little bit further out. I assume it's going to be Ultimate and PC only tiers. Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl comes November 20th, Xbox Series, PC, and cloud gaming. Again, probably just Ultimate, probably not coming to standard. And then November 26th, Football Manager 25 and Football Manager 25 Console Edition are coming to the PC, Xbox Series, Xbox One, and Windows PC. Obviously, the one without the console name coming to PC only. L1 coming to all and also PC. Don't know why they would have a console version come to. I don't know. Those come in November 26th. And then games leaving soon. So if you want to play these games, play them now before they leave on October 31st, or buy them with that 10% Xbox Game Pass discount. First one up, Frog Detective: The Entire Mystery. Next one up, Headbangers. Next one up, Ink Illuminati, which was, I believe, a game preview game. Next one, Lonely Mountains Downhill. Next one up, Minako's Night Market. So, if you want to pick up one of those 5 games while they're on Game Pass, play them. I believe most, if not all, those games are fairly short games that you can probably beat in a night, or if not, maybe a weekend. So you got 2 weekends. Go in there, play them, beat them. If not, you can always buy them. Like I said, 10% discount on all Game Pass stuff. And yeah, that's all the news I have for today. Yeah. All in all, this is the end of this solo episode of Standout Media Podcast. Next week, we should, fingers crossed, knock on wood, all that good stuff, we should be back to our normal schedule of me and Rozoku at 7 p.m. By 7 p.m., I mean 7:15 p.m. because we're always late. Hopeful for that to happen. If not, I will try to keep you updated. Feel free to add us or DM us on any social media platform. We will get back to you. I have been really bad with keeping up with the socials. I did post today at like 7 o'clock. Hey, it's going to be delayed. Probably should have posted that earlier today when I found out it was going to be delayed. We're still new. We are both working full-time jobs. I have a wife and kid. He's got a wife. We're busy people. We're, just doing this for fun. So it'll be super interesting to see super interested to see. What am I saying? We are super interested. We we are super excited to keep this going, and to keep bringing information to the masses, and try to just provide some news and some fun to everybody's week. Even if it's just an hour, whether you're listening on YouTube Live or after the fact on YouTube, or if you're listening on podcast services around the globe, we are everywhere, and we plan on keeping it that way and keep on the episodes coming out. Again, apologies for last week's episode not happening. I mentioned briefly earlier, we had a hurricane. I had no internet. I mean, thankfully I had power, so I didn't have to worry too much about things, but I was out for over a day with no internet while they were, working on lines and doing crazy stuff. A lot of crazy stuff going on there. But yeah, we're back. Next week, we're going to be normal operating schedule. Week after that is Halloween. We're working on some surprises. We may or may not have them. It could be a normal episode, could be something special. We're not 100% sure yet. We've floated a couple ideas around, but overall, not so sure. But anyways, we appreciate everybody. I appreciate, I know he does too, appreciate everybody who, supports us, likes, follows, subscribes, leaves comments. We appreciate all that stuff. And it also helps us in the old algorithm. Also, leave comments if you liked the video podcast, the face camera podcast. I figured being a solo episode, something a little bit different, mix it up a little bit, throw my face on there. Hopefully it's not too ugly, it doesn't scare people away. I don't think it is. It took me a few minutes more to set that up today, but it's set up, and at this point I'm just rambling on. Nobody's here to stop me. Anyways, for the outro, thank you everybody for tuning in to another week of the Stand Up Media Podcast. My name is Mr. Jantix, your host. Again, next week we're going to be going back to normal stuff, so stay tuned, and don't forget to like and subscribe, comment, follow, wherever you are. Do it on all the podcasts. Even if you don't have the podcast services, go on your iTunes account, go on your Spotify, go on your Amazon account, go on YouTube, subscribe on all of them, like all of our videos. I mean, you don't have to do that. I'm just saying, it helps us out. We're trying to, just have fun, spread some love. And yeah, we'll see you in the next video. And yeah, keep it real, everybody. Have fun, stay safe, and peace.